My name is Richard.
Hello, my name is Hannah.
Hello, my name is Lou.
I've been running Open Theatre for 30 years and we work with young people with learning disabilities. I started work with young people with learning disabilities in 1983. And for the first time I worked with people with learning disabilities. I didn't know anything about the nature of those young people I was working with. I went in the room and I was quite anxious, so quite nervous. But by the end of an hour of working with them, I was having the best time I've ever had in my life doing drama. And that's basically why I'm still here doing it. I have the best time, and in all sorts of other ways, and I wouldn't want to do anything else.
So my background is in theatre, and I am really interested in how theatre can be used as a tool for change in working with people in the community. I love spectacle theatre. I love theatre that's co-created with people, and my work with City of Culture means that I get a grapevine. And one of the projects that we're doing at the moment is a project called Reform the Norm. And so I was really excited by the invitation that I got from Molly to look at making a change, basically, going forward, and how this time that is really unusual. Obviously, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but this time allows us to shake up the way that society does things and who gets to make decisions on those things. And so I was really excited by the invitation to come and speak with you all about that tonight and hear how we might do that going forward.
I think I wanted to join Open Theatre was because I just liked all the school plays, and then just decided when I was about 12 that I wanted to be an actor, and then I've sort of not gone back from it. Interested in like other things to do with the arts as well, like directing and that as well.
What is your favourite thing about acting, working with Open Theatre?
Working with Open Theatre, I think my favourite thing is just the freedom of it, relaxing, yet so kind of chaotic at the same time.
Sounds a bit like Sia.
And just how relaxed and comfortable everybody is with themselves and with each other.
Okay, what does it mean to you to be included? So, Richard, Luke and Hannah.
Okay, so what does it mean to be included? I think for me, being included means that I feel visible, valued and heard. I think for me it starts with an invitation. It's where a space has been made for me to feel all of those things that I've just mentioned, and that feeling comes from welcomed, to how I'm listened to, if I'm empowered in that space, how people respond to my needs as I've requested it. And I think all these things are necessary to me and for others to kind of make that space feel inclusive.
Do you want to go next, Luke?
Being accepted, in my opinion, you don't always have to be understood, but just that acceptance is, for me personally, is good enough because of autism, and that can be quite difficult to understand for some people.
Again, I'm going to put a very long perspective on this because I have been around for a long time. I can remember very clearly as a child feeling that I didn't belong, and I don't quite know why, but I remember thinking I'm not like other people in a bad way, and that I should be like other people. And then I tried very hard to fit in with people, and it never worked. As I grew a bit older, I started thinking, actually, it's more important to be true to myself than to try and be like other people. And that's when things started to change. It was like saying, I'm doing this, you're doing that. Is there a way we can be together? Once I started realizing I could be who I was, I then started going, actually, I don't care if I don't get involved in what you're doing, because I'm far more comfortable doing what I'm doing. What I realized, I think, was that there was a whole group of people in society who felt that they didn't belong. So my sense of inclusion now is not about how I get included, but how we can work together so that everybody's included.
Well done to you all. Question from Luke.
What's Luke's experience of having paid and unpaid roles as an actor?
Yeah, I've only ever really been paid by Open Theatre. Oh, I know, that's actually a lie. I haven't been just paid by Open Theatre. How could I forget about that? Which another company that works with people with disabilities and stuff. I don't really know, to be honest. Hard to kind of pinpoint. I suppose the feeling of being paid, it feels like you actually got a job and accomplishing more, I guess. For me, that's the only sort of major difference, I guess.
Do you feel like you're less likely to be offered paid roles?
Oh, that's interesting. I suppose because of my diagnosis, possibly with certain organisations and stuff, yeah.
Okay, so Amanda's question for you, Luke,
Mhm.
is what do you think is needed for theatre and arts to be inclusive for disabled people?
I think that one of the biggest things is acceptance and understanding from people. And I also think that if a character in a show or whatever has a disability of some sort, it should be played by somebody with a disability, not somebody pretending to have a disability. I don't think there's enough people with disabilities on the arts, like that's recognised.
We were all nodding.
Question, Luke, is that all right?
Yeah.
So you said about how it's really important that characters that are disabled are played by disabled people.
Yeah.
I think we get why that's important, but just for anybody who's watching this who doesn't get why that's important, could you talk about that a little bit more? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course. I think it's important because a simple answer is it kind of gets us recognised a bit more, and two, I think it can be kind of offensive when a non-disabled person is playing a disabled role. It can kind of come across as a bit stereotypical, also kind of a bit unfair.
So, Prash, was there anything that you fancied asking to? Do you remember we said we might ask Richard a question? Yeah. So, Prash would like to ask about what is 10 out of 10, Richard?
10 out of 10 obviously means you've done really well. But I was just thinking about this. When I talked about my experience of being included and finding out who I was, and then I went to university, and by chance, literally by chance, I started doing drama. And that allowed me to see a whole different side to myself that I didn't even know I had. I kind of thought then, if the arts can do that for me, then it can do it for anyone. 30 years later, when I started looking at the number of people with learning disabilities who were involved in the arts or even employed in the arts in any way, the statistic was really appalling. And by this time, I'd got to feel this is so ridiculous that all those people are denied that opportunity, that instead of thinking, oh, maybe we could get a few more people with learning disabilities involved, we should get everybody involved. We should get 10 out of 10 people with learning disabilities involved in the arts, because I believe in the arts and what it can do. And I started thinking, oh, what big project could we do that would be really impressive? And then I thought, I don't want to do that. Actually, what I want to try and make sure is that 10 out of 10 young people with learning disabilities are involved in some way in the City of Culture year. Can I just ask Prash if that's answered the question? Yeah?
Question. What's the next plan for that project?
We've been working with City of Culture on what's called Uncover Discover, which is based on us going into every special school in Coventry and working, if possible, with every young person in those special schools on creating projects around the theme of water. Uncover Discover has been officially launched. It was one of the first projects that City of Culture decided to invest in.
So I've just been reading your website. I'm interested because you are talking about accessibility is very important, which is really nice to hear. What is your idea of accessibility? What does that mean to you?
Oh, that's a very big question, isn't it? If I talk a bit about what we are going to do, and then I'll talk about what accessibility means for us, would that be fair?
Yes.
We have started to work with consultants around accessibility, and we've worked with partners as well who, you know, are looking at this issue and the way that we talk about the work that we do, and the way that we present the work we do, the website, the wording, all of that. We started to do some of that work, and currently our production team is working on an accessibility pack, if you like, which is the whole sort of statement of how we're going to do it and what it means to us as a trust. And it means that as producers and as people that are going to start like creating work for the City of Culture, we will be working from that document to kind of learn from our mistakes and think, okay, how can we be doing this better? And we've been working with an organisation called Unlimited Art. Unlimited are a fantastic organisation who work with disabled artists, and they have a number of artists that we're going to be working with. We've been looking at what is our accessibility around language, talking about the work we're doing.
We are facing a lot of things at the minute when people think of the word accessibility. It's not about ramps, push button doors. It's about people having an equal opportunity to be heard in their community. I like you talk about your program reflecting culture and about it being human. I'm just interested to see what your words are about that.
What do we mean by accessibility in terms of how we're working with people and what that means to us as an organisation we're creating? Obviously really committed to working with people. One of the key parts of our programme is about just wanting to create opportunities and for people to be the recipients of activity. You know, we want to make sure that people are co-creating with us and that their ideas are at the centre of what we're developing. This project that we're running with Grapevine, with Reform the Norm, is around citing the ideas of disabled artists at the centre of creating something. And you're right, you know, accessibility isn't just about getting people through the door. And for us as well, it's important to make the right partnerships with people that have been doing this for years, like with people like Richard, because they're able to hold us to account, and it helps us to shape the decisions that we make ultimately.
Is there anything personally that inspires you to make things accessible? Is there anything motivates you?
Yeah, I mean, I can absolutely share a personal story with you. So I was a young carer for my brother who was in a wheelchair. He was in a wheelchair for 10 years. He was really talented. He's a really talented artist, fine artist. And he wanted to go to art college to follow his passion. But because of the way the world was at that time, and because of the experiences that he had of people looking at him differently for his disabilities and not sort of giving him opportunities, I felt really frustrated by that. And I felt like, why should anybody be given less of an opportunity because of their personal circumstance, because of a disability? I often have the thought of my brother in my mind, and I often think about somebody who did give him an opportunity, actually. He then turned his passion for painting into cooking and became a really great cook and sort of put his art on a plate. And he did it through cookery school, and he made the most hot curries I've ever tasted in my life. But they were delicious, and that one person that gave him that opportunity to realise those dreams and realise that ambition really inspired me. And so I think that, you know, in a way, being within this world of the cultural sector, it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm somebody who is upholding that as well, and making sure that opportunities are for everybody. So that's something that personally inspires me, and I've probably never shared that story in a group chat like this before.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It means a lot, because I'm sure you will understand there are a lot of people who get put in roles to make decisions for disabled people that haven't had any experience. So it makes such a big difference to have someone like you with that personal experience make such a drastic difference to how somebody completes a role. So that means a lot. Thank you so much for what you are doing. It shouldn't just be feeling like just one person's responsibility.
This question is for like kind of Hannah and Richard. What are you doing to open opportunities like paid roles for young people with disabilities, especially from more disadvantaged backgrounds, like from the BMA background?
That's a big question, Umar. As an organisation, as we develop and grow, I mean, the Open Theatre was actually one person 5 years ago, which was me. We now have a team of maybe 20 people working for us. So we are constantly looking at how we can involve of the young people that we started off as working with as our participants, but are slowly becoming workers alongside us. So Luke has worked, apart from as an actor, has worked in school as an assistant practitioner. So we're constantly looking at different ways of involving and paying young people, but it's very much an individualized process. Help them discover what they're able to do and then try and create a job around that. It's really difficult. I'm not going to pretend, Umar, it's easy, because you need to have lots of money to be able to employ people. In terms of representation, our biggest challenge as an organisation is when we go and work in special schools across Birmingham and Coventry, we encounter every kind of young person from every kind of background there exists. So that's from all kinds of cultures and backgrounds. Our big question is, why are those young people that we see not represented in the arts generally, and also in our own company? We have to really look to ourselves to work out why that is, and how even us are still not opening the doors to people in the right ways. So one big example of that is that most of our practitioners are young white women. The reason why they are young white women is because we source those young people through university drama courses. And on those university drama courses are mostly young white women. So if we want to get any other kind of people to work with us, we can't rely on going to universities. That's one of the things we're beginning to tackle, is how do we broaden the base of the people who are working for us in that way as well. It's a big job, but we want to do it. And the other thing that's really important for us is that we work in partnership with other organisations so that we do that together.
Yeah, thanks, Umar. I guess just to come off the back end of what Richard's talking about, it is important for us because effectively the City of Culture is this thing that's here for the year to leave a legacy within the city. Is, like Richard said, is working in partnership with people we want to work with, that does offer us a wide range of talent, of young people from different races, different backgrounds. It's important for us to do that work, to reach out to find people to work with. But we've just agreed a partnership with Unlimited Arts that will look like a number of commissions for people within the city who are disabled artists.
Thank you so much. Like, that has answered like the question that I wanted to answer.
Thank you for the great question, Umar, and the responses there, Richard and Hannah. Next we have Eli, who has a question.
This question's for Richard. What should other organisations be doing?
Well, I was thinking as Hannah was talking, I think one of the most important things for organisations to do is to work together and to carry on for at least the next 10 years working together, so that there's a citywide solution to the things we're talking about, and that no one organisation has to carry the burden of that everybody works together. We have been most effective in supporting the young people we work with, and I'm going to include Richard Beckett when he was, 15. He's since gone on to do loads of interesting things with his professional career. It's really important to recognise that no one organisation has helped him to do that. We've helped him, Grapevine have helped him, other organisations have helped him to achieve, has now achieved. And that variety of experience that Richard has had is the variety of experience that every young person with a learning disability needs and should have, to be able to go into any organisation and learn from that process and develop themselves as an artist and get on with their career by being able to be part of loads of things and not think that one organisation can be the answer. So the opportunity for us that City of Culture presents is for young people to have that variety of experience from all the arts organisations working together in order to support the talent, experience, the expertise of those young people. Does that make sense, Eli?
That makes really good sense. Thank you.
We're moving on to the end now. We have the final question, which I believe JJ is going to ask.
Every single event that happens will be accessible to every single person. For example, Molly said if she could attend every single event, why couldn't someone with a disability? But I'm hearing you will definitely be carrying that with the people that you work with. You seem to have a strong passion to make sure every one of your events will be accessible to everybody.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right to ask that, and you're absolutely right to hold us to account to that as we go through our planning and as we are thinking about every event, from the small ones that might be out in a community centre to a much bigger event, the opening, the closing. I guarantee to you it's absolutely within our planning, especially as we're bringing in outside partners and organisations to really think how they're accessible to everybody, not just about the physical sense and the physical space, just considering some of the other needs that might be there as well.
I love that you've talked about other communities as well. Openness is an important thing to see. You have spoken about all protected characteristics when you've discussed how you want it to be accessed by everybody. I appreciate that.
We're learning from people all the time, and even being part of Grapevine, or even seeing new vibes and seeing how they've developed, and thinking about some of the other additional needs, like I was saying, not just about the physical space, but also about sound and visual and comfortability of that space and quiet space, and all of that is absolutely within our thinking and within that access strategy that we're pulling together. And absolutely come and hold us to account on that. Let's make sure that we are doing what we say that we will do.
We wanted to say thank you to Richard, Hannah and Luke for coming.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Amanda and everybody.
Very powerful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too, and for sharing your experiences, like really personal experiences, all three of you. We really appreciate that.
A pleasure to share that with the group. I think it's important for human in these conversations and to share and be vulnerable.